the street.
Try to keep them at home. How about that?
Sharia, let's talk about the Falcons or the Hawks.
I'm a great host.
The girls is fighting. Baby, Angela and Shamia done had it out, honey. And Angela, I love you, mama. You are a read queen. But Shamia got you this round, honey, okay? I ain't gonna hold you. I do not like Shamia, but I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Shamia ate you up this round, Angela, okay? Her jabs was landing a little bit harder, and she made me laugh more, okay? Sorry, Ange, you lost this round. But hey, welcome to my channel where I do weekly recaps of the Real Housewives franchise. That's right, I recap every city, every episode, every week. Today I'm here to recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 9. Before I do so, if you happen to like my content, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe buttons, hit that alert bell so you can get a notification whenever I drop a new video. So guys, we are officially halfway through the season, and this is where I would normally tell you how I felt about each girl so far and what I think about the season so far, but I've done that 2 episodes ago. So we start this episode off where we left off last episode. Last episode was left at to be continued, where Portia and Kelly had just got into it again at Phaedra's dinner that she had for her sound bath, Healing Waters event. So Kelly just accused Portia of sleeping with every Nigerian in Atlanta. Portia didn't like that, so Portia had her finger on her face saying, "You fucked everybody." Kelly had her glass in Portia's face telling her, "Play with me." They ended up getting them separated. They walk off, both of them still going off. Portia's accusing Kelly of sleeping with a married pastor. Phaedra supposedly knows this man. He's one of her clients. Y'all already know how I felt about that. So, yeah, so now they separate and they go apart now. So, and you know, they separate into their groups because we got 2 cliques this season. We got Frick and Frack, Drew, Cynthia, and Angela. Cynthia's really not a part of it, but she's part of that clique, actually. She is. So we got that clique, and then we got the other clique, which is Shamia, Kelly, Pinky, and Kay. So they all separate. They're still going off. Portia's telling Kelly, like, before they separate, Portia's leaving like, "Bitch, you lied and said last year I slept with somebody, but I said it about this year, and it's true, bitch. I got my lick back. Take your lick, bitch. Take your lick." So Portia, you're admitting that you were getting your lick back. You didn't like how Kelly came in hot for you last season, saying you sleep with married men. So you wanted to get back at her. That's what Portia does. That's why I don't believe it. Portia just wanted to get back at Kelly. But now the Phaedra's getting involved saying it's true. I don't believe either one of y'all, to be honest with you. So now Portia is telling her, like, fuck out of here. So she calls her a little hobbit. I'm like, Portia, that would have been really funny. It would have been even funnier if it was your original line. But we all know that's Britt Edie's original line from last season, calling Kelly a little hobbit. So Kelly, meanwhile, with the girls is telling them, like, if you gonna come for me, bitch, I'm going to the depths of hell. They telling her, well, girl, you definitely did go to hell. So back with the other girls, Angela and Portia is saying how Kelly was getting too close to her, coming in her face, and she wasn't gonna have that. She ain't playing. And Angela, and Kelly had nothing to do with it anyway. It was between her and Kay. She's trying to talk to Kay, and Kelly's all in her ear singing stuff. So Angela is saying, she was like, "Oh, fuck every Nigeria in Atlanta." She got that from somebody. She heard that from somewhere. Like, basically saying it wasn't her own. Somebody gave her that line, that read. So Portia is like, she thought Kelly was a boss or whatever, but she's a follower, like, pretty much. Like, she's following behind Shamia, making her beef with Kay her beef when it has nothing to do with her or whatever. So Kelly is telling the other girls, like, "I ain't even gonna tell y'all what I went through today." But she was like, "You think I'm gonna give these bitches my pants so they can laugh at it? No, fuck out of here. I'm gonna walk head high, titties out, nipples, whatever." So yeah, she's basically saying how she's about to leave. She ain't got time for this. She gonna leave. She says she may be short, but she's a 6'7" bitch. She will 6'7" a bitch. That's what she said. So Shamia leaves with her, so their new nickname for now on is Shakelly. So Shakelly leaves, all right? They leave together. Phaedra goes to check on Kay and Pinky. While she leaves, Drew is singing how she's trying to connect with Kay, but for some reason Kay has it in for her and she don't know what the issue is. Angela says how, in her confessional, how she could empathize with Kay because Kay is new to the group and Kay shared to her how she had a problem with the ladies in Atlanta before, and she can imagine how it made her feel when Drew was like, oh, you don't fit in, you don't belong in this group. And she was like, she don't want nobody to feel the way the girls made her feel last season. So Phaedra goes to check on Kay and Pinky. Now she's with them, seeing if they all right. And Kay is like, I ain't trying to disrespect your house. I'm sorry, but this Drew, she in my ear. She's like a gnat in your ear, whatever. So she goes on in her confessional to shade Drew, saying I hate when a bitch with a funny face and all this, saying she called her her face ass Drew, her face ass. So she starts saying how, oh, you ain't getting no award yet, huh? She said her face always looks like, huh? And I'm not gonna lie, this was...
To watch a funny face girl, I call her face ass. Huh? What? You haven't gotten any awards or anything for huh? Huh? What it has done for you is kept a man in your basement with no shirt on and taco hairs. It should change your face.
Congratulations, Kay. This was actually the funniest moment of the episode when she was doing like her face. That made me laugh, I'm not gonna lie. But no tea, like, Kay, you got the nerve to be coming for Drew's face. The one thing no one can ever come for is Drew's face, because that face card never declines, honey. She has unlimited credit on that face card, baby. Kay, you, on the other hand, has had multiple procedures to change how you look. You were not happy with who you were and how you were born, so now you did more mad things to change how you look. Nothing's wrong with that. You can change whatever you want. But how dare you come for Drew? Drew has always looked the same. This is her face she was given by God, honey, all right? And she's been blessed with a beautiful face. She's actually prettier than you, Kay. So in my opinion, maybe not everyone thinks so, but I think most people would agree that Drew Segura has a prettier face than Kay. Kay may have a better body, yes, but Drew's face sits, honey, all the time, 100% of the time. Her hair may not be all the way done, but that face always... So, okay, how dare you come for her face? It seems like you are jealous of Drew, honey. I don't know what's going on with this, Kay, but it's really starting to give that you think you are on this higher pedestal when Drew, baby, Kay, baby, you are not that megastar that you think you are, sis. You are not. You are nowhere near the A-list, all right? B-list at best, but I would say more like C-list. Anyway, I'm just like, it's really like a glass house throwing stones. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So Pinky saying she thinks that they could have got somewhere, but Drew kept, jumping in, and Drew kept chiming in, and she wanted to eat. And I'm like, hold up, Drew kept chiming in, Pinky. Pinky, shut up. Please, shut up. Because first of all, Kay brought Drew into it when she brought Kay into it. Her problem, she was addressing Portia, and when Phaedra asked her, so it's three things, she was like, yeah, and black. She brought Drew into it, so Pinky, shut up, please. Go get some plants to eat on, girl. So now, the newbies leave. Kay and Pinky, they leave because Phaedra asked them, are they willing to join the table again? They're like, no, they out or whatever. So they leave. And back at the table, Drew was basically saying how, they're talking about, Portia is talking about how she was trying to get to know Kay and be cool with her, but yeah, it's just too much going on with her. This is pretty much Kay's second time coming at her sideways. Like, she's over it. Angela felt like they could have got somewhere. She wanted them to hear Kay out because she see where Kay was coming from, and she wanted them to listen to her, but it got derailed. And Drew was like, baby, she brought me into it, so I'm going to address when you address me, I'm going to speak up. And I agree with you, Drew, okay? So Faye just shares what Kay said, how she said, Kay said she don't, have no hate for nobody. Basically share how Kay said she didn't mean to disrespect. She felt like she was turning up and she didn't mean to or whatever, pretty much. And they're just saying, Portia is saying, the thing is about Kelly and with Kelly and Kay is that when I'm talking to Kay, Kelly's in the background. When I'm talking to Kelly, Kay's in the background. They both like coming at me, repeating each other like, and it's just like a double team or whatever. It's like a double. So yeah, so I noticed that too. Kelly is like a follower. I agree. Kelly is like that little gnat in your ear. I just feel like Kelly doesn't have a direct beef with anybody. All her beef stems from taking on other people's beefs. So yeah, Kelly is a follower. I used to like Kelly last season, but yeah, I'm looking at Kelly. She's a follower. She's a pick-me, and I'm good on her too. So meanwhile, Kay is talking to Pinky, saying how, she trying to be cool with Portia. And she says she don't think Portia is a bad person. She just doesn't think, or whatever. She just don't understand what's all the scheming and plotting about. Pretty much saying Portia was trying to like run the conversation and shut it down, and I'm trying to talk to her. She's like, Portia don't run me and Portia don't run ATL. So okay, let me get this straight, because it's given that you came in saying they saying that you came in wanting to be like the top girl. You wanted to take over that spot and be like the top bitch. But we all know that Portia is the top bitch. She's the HBIC over in Atlanta, whether you like her or not. She's the HBIC. So I feel like you came in wanting to take her down so you could be the new HBIC. That's just what it's given to me. You claiming everybody's scheming and plotting on you. It's given, this is a scheme and a plot set up by K. Michelle to come to us with the bullshit.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bullshit.
So next we go over to Shamia's parents' house. Okay, so she goes by to visit her mom and dad. Her other sister that we don't see that much is there, Tawana. Hey sis, all right. And Tawana got on the same shirt I got from Shein that says IDC, IDK, IDGAF. I got that same shirt, girl. Okay, same color. I was gonna wear it for this recap to show y'all, but child, I'll get around to it. Yes, but anyway, so she's there and she's telling them about Phaedra's Healing Waters event. She's saying how when she went and she got on a rash, she tells them how it popped and she started like sinking, and she felt like there was some type of juju going on. It was just something weird about that, because why would hers pop and all that. So then she starts to tell the family about how the beef between Kay and Portia, how Kay felt like people is trying to scheme and plot on her. There's a scheme and a plot going on, and how the girls is trying to say that Shamia is the one that's behind it, and she don't appreciate that people are trying to make her look like she's the one bringing trouble. Her mother is telling her, when people talk that garbage, you just let it go in one ear and out the other. Don't listen to that. So now the mother asks her about the surrogacy, how that's going, and she's like, it's going. So Shamia, she don't seem too excited about this, and like I said, in my opinion, from what I've observed, it seemed like this is something Gerald wants way more than she does. Gerald doesn't have to put his body through that. Well, she don't have to put her body through anything because she's not going to be carrying. But if I'm not mistaken, when you're doing surrogate, don't you got to do other things too? No, that's if you're using your own eggs. But either way it goes, it's a process for her as well. And Gerald, I don't think, takes that into account. So she says that they have the embryo, the one male embryo they have left. It's a good embryo, but she's had good embryos before. She names a few times where she had good embryos and it just didn't take. The transfer just didn't take. So she's not too excited about this because suppose the same thing happened. She don't know what she to do. This is all like taking a toll on Shamia. This is a heavy weight on her. And although I've made it very clear, I really do not care for Shamia at all. This is not something I wish on anyone. Like, I really want Shamia to come out on top in this situation. I want whatever's best for her and her family. Like, because this really does seem like it's really a lot for her. And I feel for her in this moment. You know, I could put my feelings to the side for Shamia. And I just feel like Gerald is putting a lot of pressure on her for her to have this boy. And I don't think she really is there. But she lets them know she does have a new surrogate. So she met a new, we see a flashback of when she met the surrogate when Kelly was there. So yeah, she has her new surrogate. So they're going to just try this out and hopefully this transfer will take. I hope it takes as well, Shamia. I really do. Then she talks about Shiloh and the, you know, the thing she got. Because remember, Shiloh is like, she is physically challenged. So it's like, she going through a lot with Shiloh, and she has come to the understanding that Shiloh may be her baby forever. She may have to take care of Shiloh forever, and she's okay with that. She's accepted that. But she just don't know if she could do it again. And yeah, like, I really hope Gerald is seeing this. I doubt it if he watches the show, but I think Gerald just needs to see how much this is affecting his wife's psyche and maybe realize he's putting a little bit too much pressure on her for this. Next, we go over, we see Portia and Dennis in the car where they with Pilar and they're going around places and they're stopping at some drive-thru, and I don't know what restaurant this was, but Portia was ordering a #1 with extra cheese and extra ham. Then we go over to a place called Cliche and we see Drew's there with her new manager. She has a new manager now, and we know Drew goes through her teams, okay? So the next thing we get is at Phaedra's house, where Kelly comes by to visit. So Kelly, she came to apologize for, you know, what transpired at Phaedra's house the other night with her and Portia. She said she didn't really want to take it there. She didn't come for that, but it wasn't but so much she was going to let Portia sit there and keep putting her fingers in her face. And she was just like, you know, she's not with it. She said in her confessional, she's a ride or die friend. She's a friend 365 days a year, not 265. Don't want to jab at Portia's notorious misspeak of being 265 days in a year. So now, she's pretty much like letting Phaedra know, like, you know, Portia talking all this stuff about her sleeping with a married man when it's a married man in her divorce docket. Hey, say hi to the people. This is Sebastian, y'all, my baby. So yeah, so now she's basically saying how Portia has a married man on her docket, and Phaedra is like, what? I don't know about this. And she was like, baby, it's online. I read it. I was like, Kelly, you are a bit obsessed much with Portia, honey, because you going in, you reading her book, her memoir, like, child, let me find out you be performing, what's that word again? Flatline in the house when nobody's looking, singing Flatline in the shower. So yeah, so pretty much now, she's telling Phaedra, you know, I'm going through a lot right now. So she shares with Phaedra how her husband is not allowing her to film with the kids. And Phaedra's like, oh, wow, oh my gosh. And Phaedra is like, honey, yeah, honey, that's his way of keeping control of you. You know, that's what they do. They, even if you're not married no more, they still try to find a way to have control over you. Trust me, honey. I know it all too well, basically referring to Apollo. So now Phaedra is like, well, you seeing somebody, ain't you? And that's when Kelly is like, yeah, she's excited. She's talking about how her job is. So Phaedra's like, well, are you going to introduce him to the ladies? And she's like, not yet. Like, pretty much, like, I don't really know him like that yet. I'm still trying to get to know him. We still vibing. And I can respect that, Kelly. Like, you don't bring somebody around until you're sure they're going to be around, because no one want to be bringing nobody around and introducing them to my friends and family, and then at the cookout next summer, when I come and they're not around no more, they're like, what happened to such and such? Nobody want to go through all that, okay? So yeah, take your time with introducing them to people. Make sure he's yours and you can have him. Don't bring him around the likes of Portia, honey, okay? Make sure he's yours and he ain't going nowhere first, okay? So yeah. So she's gonna hold on that, and Phaedra respects it, you know? So now they start talking about divorce and how divorce could get real messy, how people turn into a different person when you're going through a divorce. And Phaedra is steady throwing shots at Apollo like, honey, yes, honey, I know all too well, honey, divorce changes them. But no matter what, no matter how years pass, divorce, they still crazy, honey. They get even crazier. I'm like, why Apollo keep catching strays this season? Next scene, we have Pinky and Derek's daughter, D'Ella, is having a photo shoot because Miss Honey is the official face of Milano D. Rogue. The label, it's a little label or whatever. It's cute. I got a couple of pieces myself, all right? I had the puffer coat when they first came out. It's still in my closet. I just don't wear it no more. But yeah, so, all right, congratulations, D'Ella. Look at you being a little model, okay? And I believe it's a black-owned business, too. Yes. So, D'Ella's doing her photo shoot. Derek and Pinky's there. Angela arrives. She comes with her daughter, Ollie, her 9-year-old daughter, Ollie. Hey, Ollie, we don't really get to see Ollie. We always see the oldest child, the daughter the most. So, hey, Ollie. So, we find out that Pinky's mom growing up, she used to always watch her mom perform because her mom was part of a reggae band. She was actually the lead singer, was she? She said her mom was the lead singer of a reggae band. Yes. All right, girl. So she wants, her daughter, D'Ella, to be in that same industry or whatever. So Angela says that her and Pinky was off to a rough start, but she wants to, start off fresh and, give it a chance and see where they can go. So Cynthia arrives. Now, Cynthia came because, Cynthia is a model, okay? So she came to help out and give some pointers and, help D'Ella with some poses. So Cynthia helps her do some poses. They do their photo shoot. Cute D'Ella. All right, Cynthia, a veteran at this modeling game, okay? So now they go sit to talk, and they're talking about Phaedra's event, and they're filling Cynthia in on what happened after she left. So they're telling her how Kay and Portia got into it, then Kay and Drew got into it, Portia and Kelly got into it, the glass, the finger pointing and all that, the accusations. So Cynthia is just like, wow, like, she's kind of confused because she was like, from all I know, Portia been trying to be nice, nothing but a friend to Kay, so she's kind of lost by this. So once they fill her in, Cynthia in her confession was like, child, it was in God's calling for me to not be there, honey. God came and took me out that situation. He was like, not today, devil. Not these cheekbones.
I felt like Apollo for God, that I came early and then I was removed from that space. When the shit is the fan, the Lord says, oh, not today, Saint. Not these cheekbones, Saint.
That was funny, Cynthia. I thought that was cute. So now Cynthia is telling them how I want to hold you two accountable for being like the people that like bring the peace. Try to get the ladies all on one page or whatever. So Angela is talking about how she don't know what Shamia's problem is with her, because every time she thinks it's one thing and they talk, now Shamia is bringing up like old stuff. So Pinky is like, Angela, we friends now, so I can tell you this. Like, sometimes you be instigating things sometimes. And I don't think that you try to instigate it. I think that you genuinely want to know. But it comes off like you instigating. So, and Pinky is saying, I just think I need to have a conversation one-on-one, face-to-face. Angela's like, I tried this, and with Shamia, it never goes nowhere, but I'm going to try again. So in her confession, she's being funny. She's like, you know what? I'm going to try to do what's best for the group. I'm going to take one for the team, and I'm going to call Shamessi. No, she said Shamina. I mean, Shamessi. Shamia, damn. She's like, all right, I'll call Shalaya.
All about bringing the group together. If it means I have to reach out to Shamessi, damn. Shamia. I will do that. I am willing to call Shalaya.
I love Shamessi. That is too cute. I love Shamessi and I like Shamina. Shalaya is cute too, all right? They all apply. So now Cynthia is saying to Pinky how she wants Pinky to try to initiate and talk to Kay so they could try to have a sit down with Kay and Portia. Pinky is saying how she actually met up with Portia the other day, and they show a flashback of her meeting up with Portia, and it seemed like Portia couldn't get a word in. Otherwise, honey, Pinky was taking over the whole conversation. So pretty much she's telling Cynthia, yeah, I think Portia was open to it, and she seems to understand. Understand what, girl? You ain't give her a chance to talk. So she's gonna, initiate that and get them to holler and link up with each other. Next, we go over to a dental office where we see Kelly's there and Shamia's coming to visit her. They got on the same outfit, so Shamia goes sits on top of her lap on the dentist and starts twerking on her. So we find out that Jarvis actually paid to get Kelly a new smile. Not any old new smile, honey, a $70,000 smile. And Shamia is like, yes, that is so nice. She's like, a $70,000 smile, baby, means you owe him 70,000 BJs. And Kelly is like, she only at 15, so she got a lot to do. But she's thankful because Jarvis said he wanted to give her a perfect smile no matter what the expense or whatever. So and he did that. He came through. So, she's happy. She's talking about how he makes her so happy. And, he really, shows that he's into her. So then the nurse comes with a delivery. He sent a bouquet of roses and flowers, and it was gorgeous. And she's like, oh my gosh. So she's hyped. And on the bouquet, it has this locket with a photo. It's like a necklace locket with a photo of her and her daughters. And production had to blur out the daughter's faces in the pictures because, she's not allowed. I don't know why they didn't show Chloe's face because Chloe is recording. Chloe is grown. So, yeah. And I also meant to say that when she was talking to Phaedra about not recording with the girls, she said the girls noticing it because they're looking like, we noticed we don't do it like we used to. We stopped doing it. And they're wondering well, are we not good enough for you to show on camera? So I was like, oh, when she said that kind of broke my heart. I was like, oh, damn. So, yeah. She's like, Jarvis really shows that he cares about her daughters and, she's into him for that. So Shamia, of course, lets us know in her confessional that she was actually the one that introduced them. She's like, you thought I was going to introduce my friend to a brokey? Ew. Okay, I get that and all, but Shamia, but the way you said it was like, I get it, you don't want your friend messing with no brokey, but the way Shamia said it was that, anyone who couldn't afford a $70,000 smile was a brokey, okay? It was something about that turned me off. It was giving very much Mean Girl. So, yeah. So, now Kelly calls him to thank him, and she's talking to him. So, we got to hear his voice. She didn't FaceTime him. She called him. And they showed the phone screen, but you could see it was a call. So, yeah, pretty much, she called him and thanked him, and he told her, you deserve it. You've been through a lot, and I just want to put a smile on your face, and I'm going to keep that smile on your face, pretty much. That $70,000 smile, baby, okay? So now they leave out, and when they leave out, Shamia puts Kelly on her back. Kelly jumps on her back, and they leave out. And I'm just like, oh, shit, Kelly. So, whatever. All right, it's cute. They have a little friendship. So next we get a scene with Drew and her team meeting up. Because remember, we saw her talking with her new manager earlier. So I guess the whole team is meeting up. And baby, she got the whole team there. And this comes from out of left field. But I enjoyed this scene the most. So I made this my favorite scene of the episode.
I wasn't doing no ponytail like that.
Hello. We got the whole gang here. Thank y'all for coming. As you all know.
So everybody's there, the whole team. She's introducing everybody to the camera person. They said it was like 20 people. So it looked like it was about 10 people sitting in that room though. All right, maybe a little more than 10. So they're talking and they're discussing things, and apparently there's some things going on when she's not around. There's some drama within the group that she's not privy to because things happen, but she got to go perform at the end of the day, and she can't let that get in the way. So as they're talking, the assistant and the hairstylist, they start going back and forth. They get into it because the hairstylist is saying the assistant is not cutting up the slack. He's referring to as her. The girls is fighting, y'all. He keeps saying I'm doing her job and my job. I feel like I'm a hairstylist and the assistant or whatever. So she's like, he's basically saying that the assistant isn't holding his weight, and the assistant is like, I'm not about to sit here and let you talk crazy and say I'm not a good assistant, honey, like, because baby, I could say she need to get a new hairstylist, because basically her wig be lifting, you be having her shit lifted.
I can say she need a new wig stylist because you have her wig lifting. But I'm not going to do that because at the end of the day, no. Because you had a lot to say. And my thing is, there's a lot of time that you slip up on her hair and it looks terrible.
So the hairstylist is basically giving like, I ain't never heard no blogs complaining or saying nothing about it, and the assistant is like, you had a lot to say or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, you in charge of her hair, and sometimes her shit be looking crazy, like, you know what I mean, looking horrible. I was like, oh, what? Drew was looking like, oh, like, dude. So he's like, listen, I know, for instance, you know, I might not get along with everybody. Some people might say the way I talk is kind of harsh, but I can say some of the things y'all say is crazy. So now the makeup artist jumps in, and I think his name was Freedom or something like that. I forgot, something like that. He jumps in and he's like, oh, but that's not professional. So what the assistant gonna say, and how many times you been put up the tea? So the makeup artist was like, well, I'm here now. And he was like I said, like, anyway, like I thought.
At the end of the day, yes, I don't get along with everybody. Some people think I may talk a little bit harder than whatever. I can feel like they say some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I can say,
that's unprofessional though.
okay, you got put off the team how many times?
But I'm here now.
I thought so. I feel like we.
So basically, the assistant is telling the makeup artist, like, you saying I'm unprofessional, baby, when you be coming to work drunk, a mess and all this, and you done dog Drew online so many times. So the makeup artist like, and we gonna talk about that. Oh, so you do be dragging her online. So yeah. So basically he's like, the assistant is saying, I told Drew, like he said to Drew, I told Drew I don't feel comfortable working around him or whatever. So Drew was like, yo, okay, now it's got to a point where they just started going back and forth. He told him he looked like a double stuffed Oreo. That's what the makeup artist told the assistant. It started getting personal. So Drew was like, this is starting to become more insulting and not informative. Like, we're going to have to all be on the same page, or we're going to be working for a team, because if I got to perform, I can't deal with all of this drama. That's going to throw me off. So we got to figure out how to get on one accord or whatever. And they basically saying, you know, so she might have to get rid of some people. And the manager jumps in, chimes in, and she's just like, you know, we need to all work on ourselves and not try to work on each other. And basically she's saying the things a manager would say. And I was just like, child, this team is a mess. It's giving Candy in the Game. Let me find out if they're going to give Drew her own reality show with this messy ass team. And Drew always got a damn team. You would think she was a fucking politician, okay? Next, we go over to a restaurant by the name of Brasserie Lundy. And we see Pinky and K. Michelle. They're meeting out front to go inside together. They go get seated, and then Portia and Cynthia arrive. So this is the sit down that Pinky had arranged for Portia and Kay and Michelle. Cynthia is there, I guess, to support Portia, and Pinky is there to support Kay. They sit down and greet each other. Kay tells Portia she looks beautiful. Portia tells her you do too. So it's pleasant. So Cynthia is like, I'm just here for support. I'm not really here to say nothing. So Pinky jumps in, and takes control of the conversation. And Pinky was like, we shouldn't even be sitting here. It should just be them two. So they like, oh, y'all gonna leave? So they gonna get up and go to the bar. Pinky was like, I feel like I'm losing my voice. And I think Cynthia was like, ooh, good. So Pinky and Cynthia get up to go sit at the bar so they can talk. So they get talking. Kay is basically apologetic, saying, she's sorry for coming at Portia that way, but she reiterates, you gotta understand, when I first met you, the first thing one of the first things you did was pretty much like accuse Kelly of sleeping with a married man and blindsided her. Mind you, in her confessional, Kay was like how she don't think Portia is a bad person. She just don't think she's very smart. And she said, plus she's huge, and I know she could whip my ass. She could beat my ass. Didn't I call it? I say, Kay know who to play with. She know Portia got them hands, and Portia will get at her. She don't see Drew as a threat, because Drew is small. See? I called it, and she just admitted it, all right? She don't got the same energy for Portia that she got for little Drew, okay? So, yeah. So, basically, she's telling Portia, like, I feel like I was hearing you and listening to you, but you wasn't hearing me. So, Portia tells her, at that point, I was closed off. Once you came in accusing me of scheming and plotting on you, I was basically closed off. And Portia tells her, like, I feel like I've been giving so much to you and trying to build this friendship, and it hasn't been reciprocated, pretty much. So Kay reiterates how when they first, the thing with Kelly, that threw her for a loop. And Portia's like, girl, you're going to hear much more worse in this group, so buckle up, sis, okay? For real. But yes, you got to just learn how to not be so sensitive. And Portia, in her confessional, she's just feeling like she don't even understand what's the problem with Kay, because they don't really have a problem. Kay is taking on Kelly issues. So she tells Kay, just be careful not to listen to everything that you're told. Be careful or whatever, So Kay is pretty much like, I want the best for you. I don't want no problems with you. I really care for you, and I want the best for you. And Portia is like, I'm glad to hear that or whatever. But in her confessional, Portia is like, Kelly being on her hands and knees and not praying to a pastor has nothing to do with Kay Bashar. So that was funny. So Kay apologizes again. Like I said, she accepts Kay's apology. They're cool. She apologizes to Kay if she said or did anything that may have made her feel away. But she says that, she gonna give Kay another chance, but this is like the second time Kay, really came at her crazy. And she says she don't know what she gonna get the third time. She might, next time, baby, she might get the closed door treatment, okay? Then she, door is closed! So they called Pinky and Cynthia back over to let them know we good now, we love each other or whatever. So they're like, oh, everything's good, we're happy or whatever. So Cynthia is just like, oh, okay, so y'all got it together. So they're like, yeah, we have our little friend contract or whatever. So Cynthia like, not a friend contract. Why they showed the flashback of when Cynthia came with the friend contract to Nene. And why they actually showed Nene. Because remember, after a while, when Nene told Andy keep her name out of his mouth, he was like, I will. And they started taking her out of... Or they never showed no flashbacks of her. Even when they showed the old flashback of the Housewives holding the peaches, they took her out the picture. So yeah, they showed the flashback. I was like, nothing showing a Nene flashback. All right, yes. Okay, is this a soft launch? So pretty much, yeah. So now Cynthia asked that they solve and get down to the bottom of the scheme and the plot. And Portia's like, oh yeah, I did want to talk about that because there ain't no way I'm a scheme and plot on you. I don't got time for that. And Drew don't talk about you. Drew wouldn't do that. So Kay is like, girl, don't take up for Drew. I don't trust Drew. It's just something not sincere about her. Pretty much saying how she felt like Drew was not being honest in her story. It was 3 people she heard was involved in the scheme and the plot. She spoke to each one of them individually, and she's not buying Drew's story. And Portia is basically like, Drew does have a history of digging stuff on people, especially if she don't like you, but she don't really see a motive in this case. Like, she felt like Kay being paranoid, and Kay is convinced that Drew is out to get her. Drew wants to take her down. And yeah, she is really just still stuck on that scheme and the plot. Portia's defending Drew. And Kay gonna call her Tubi Drew. Drew Tubi. She said when it came all down to it, all roads led to Drew Tubi Sedora, the person who she's holding their feet to the fire. And she said nothing against Tubi. I like Tubi. Like, yeah, you still keep like downplaying her and belittling what she got going on, Kay. Like, you just this big Hollywood A-lister. So now, as they're talking, mind you, I'm looking at Kay because they finally made up. It ended up on a good note. It ended on a good note. But while I'm looking at Kay's here, and what was going on in the back, it was giving helmet. Like, she must have not used the hot comb. Like, I'm not a star, so if I got that, that's fine. Sometimes I might have it, but hey, I'm not a celebrity. So-called red carpet A-lister like Kay claims to be. All right, but the back of her head was giving helmet. It was the big hump. Like, she didn't use the hot comb and make the back part of her head flat enough. The back was giving like she was wearing a football helmet, honey. I was like, hey, what is this? I'm looking at everybody else here and Kay, girl, you were the weakest link. The final scene of the episode takes place at a restaurant called Para. And we see Shamia's pulling up to come meet up with Angela because Angela took Cynthia and Pinky's advice and reached out to Shamesi, Shamia, all right, Shalaya. She reached out, so now they're meeting up. So while Shamia comes in with shade, she comes in and the hostess is like, hey, are you meeting someone? And she's like, yeah, tall woman with size 12 shoes.
How are you? Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Are you meeting someone here today?
I am. Tall lady, size 12 shoe.
I got you right this way.
Congratulations, Shamia, for giving us the best shade of this episode, okay? So the girl takes her to Angela. She knew exactly who Shamia was talking about. The girl was like, all right, I got you. So she takes her over there. They greet each other. It's real awkward. So Shamia is like, why I'm surprised you reached out. What made you do this? Set this up. And Angela's like, I want to get down to the bottom of our issues or whatever. So Shamia says, like, everybody basically is blaming her for saying that she's telling Kay stuff that's making Kay flip out or whatever. And despite her kept saying it wasn't her, Angela is still like, it's you. She don't know why Angela is so stuck on her, so obsessed with her, whatever, worried about her, keeping her name in her mouth when she's not in the room. Angela is pretty much saying like, listen, did you tell Kay why we had the issue in the first place? And I don't even know what this issue is, but apparently Shamia, I thought it was the issue that they had from when Shamia said the thing about her having an 80s nose. But apparently, I guess their issue is from when Portia said she'll fuck Charles, and Shamia was laughing. And I guess she felt like Shamia was a married woman. You're laughing, and she felt the way. Shamia feels it's crazy that she forgave Portia and cool with Portia, but you mad at her for laughing. And I kind of get your logic with that, Shamia. I can feel where you're coming from, but y'all have other issues besides that, Shamia. Okay, her and Portia haven't really got into it since then. It's been easy peasy, play along to get along, right? Go along to get along. So Angela is saying, her intuition told her it was Shamia, despite Shamia kept saying it wasn't her. Despite Kay saying it wasn't Shamia, And Angela said it was her discernment. So Shamia was like, girl, your discernment is off. She was like, use your discernment to sell some houses, all right? Like, use your discernment to figure out what's going on while you got drama with people or whatever. Your discernment is off, girl, okay? So I'm like, oh, Shamia is just reading Angela at this point. So the waitress comes and she asks them if they want to order. Angela said, what do you suggest? She suggested to count salmon kebabs. So Shamia confession was like, girl, salmon kebabs? You talking about some damn salmon kebabs, bitch? I'm trying to figure out how I'm a bob and weave like against those big ass hands and them big ass feet she got under the table. Why she go call her Sasquatch? She was like, can't y'all see I'm fighting Sasquatch? I'm like, oh, Shamia is being so mean, but I'm not gonna lie, I was cracking up. I do not like Shamia and I like Angela, but I was cracking up. No shade. Funny is funny. So Angela basically feels like Shamia is stirring up things with Kay. Shamia says that she wants to know why Angela keeps saying that she's stirring up things with Kay. And, you know, Angela says, when Shamia was saying the thing about stirring up things with Kay and the thing about use your discernment, she was coming at Angela. Angela said, oh, where'd you get that from? Who gave you that? You got that from Portia or you got that from Candy? Shamia's like, what, Candy? Why you bringing up Candy? And so, mind you, Shamia was like, I don't want to talk about Portia. I'm not talking about Portia. I'm talking about you and me. And she was like, girl, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. So she's telling her, Angela's telling Shamia she want to be like Candy. She want to be like Candy. You want an EGOT or whatever. So she's like, but you need to go make an album then. You got no EGOT. Where's your project or whatever? So they're going back and forth. Yeah, Angela is accusing Shamia of trying to be like Candy. Shamia is basically telling Angela how she's in her confessional. Shamia said Angela was one of those girls who had that ponytail like this in high school that fanned out, and she was mad at all the other girls who had pretty hair. She's just mad. She's just bothered pretty much. Angela called her a lap dog and lipstick. So they're going back and forth. Angela is like, I built my business on my back or whatever. I ain't lay on my back to build my business. I'm self-made. You sleep around. That's what you do or whatever. Shamia was like, geez, tell your husband to stay out them streets or whatever. Angela was like, you stay out them streets. And Shamia's like, I see why your husband leave and don't come home or whatever. I wouldn't either. I'll leave your ass too. So Angela was like, I see why you leave and come home. Why you don't come home? Why you don't like your home? So they're going back and forth. Angela is like, oh, what about the Falcons, the Hawks, or whatever? So she said, so Shamia is like, keep your husband in them out the streets. Keep him in the house. And Angela is like, well, Charles, when he be in them streets, he be seeing you. Why he see you when he in the streets? What about the Falcons? What about the Hawks? Shamia is like, I am a great host. So Angela is like, host, girl, so why you still hanging around? Why you still hanging around? So Shamia was like, baby, you need to find it because it pays good money. Angela was like, no, it don't. No, it don't. So Shamia was like, baby, you probably should find one of those jobs and because real estate ain't working out for you. So Angela is like, oh, girl, I have several different businesses. And she was like, it don't pay well. The men pay well. Basically insinuating that Shamia is the men getting money from them Falcons and them Hawks or whatever. I don't know what kind of hostess gig she got going on and what she's doing under the table. I don't know. But this is the accusations Angela is making. And I'm going to need receipts, Angela. I can't go off of you just throwing that out there like that. Britt alluded to Shamia being out in them streets last season too. So I don't know. Because when you start making accusations like that against Shamia, she gets loud and starts talking over the person. So I don't know. I'm going to leave that one alone. I don't got nothing to say about that one, all right? So Shamia gets up. She's leaving. Like, she calls her Sasquatch Bigfoot, which is size 12. You shouldn't wear those shoes and this and that. It's just like, girl, bye. Why? Whatever. Why you leaving? So Shamia's like, kiss my ass. Angela's like, girl, bye. You not my type, girl. Go buy a new ass, asshole, or whatever. So as Shamia leaves out, Angela's sitting there. Angela's like, damn, I'm mad because I wanted to order. She like, damn, I wanted my salmon kebab. So the episode ends with both of them doing on-the-spot confessionals. I love when they do this one. I like the on-the-spot confessionals. They did it earlier with Portia when she had a scene. Portia had the scene with Mike in her closet, and she had an on-the-spot confessional right there with the same outfit on in the closet. And they did it last season when she had that scene with Dennis, and she walked off, and she had an on-the-spot confessional. I like these on-the-spot confessionals because I feel like it's more raw and they end the emotion in that moment. So they both talking. Shamia's outside in her confessional. Angela's still sitting at the table. Shamia's like, Angela be worried about her and her man. Why she worried about me? And Angela is basically saying how Shamia pretty much is talking about she's Sasquatch, where her husband look like Sasquatch. So I have to look in the mirror like it don't lie. She sleep next to Sasquatch every night, saying Gerald look like Sasquatch.
Can't even get her own straight. She said I'm outside because her husband sees me out. Your husband outside if he see me.
What we running for? Stick around. She called me Sasquatch. Hey, girl, you sleep with Sasquatch every night. Tell your husband to look in the mirror. I mean, hey, his face don't lie.
Work on your marriage, Angela.
Did we order?
Yeah, y'all. So that's how the episode ended. It was a good episode, guys. I do appreciate this episode. It was cute. So I am going to give this episode, I'm going to give it a B+. B+ for this episode. Good one. All right. The MVP of this episode, I'm going to have to give the MVP to Drew's team. That assistant, honey. They made the episode for me, all right? Tell me what you guys thought of the episode. Watch What Happens Live was not on this week. They'll be back next week. So, yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. In the meantime, guys, if you happen to like this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you want to leave a comment, go for it. Make sure you hit the notification bell, though, so you can see when I drop my recap for Real Housewives of Rhode Island later, okay? Alright guys, today is Tuesday, June 2nd, and I hope everyone enjoys their day. Bye now.